It's important to recognize that domestic violence is not just about physical abuse. It includes emotional abuse, psychological abuse, verbal abuse, sexual abuse, and even financial abuse. And domestic violence knows no boundaries in terms of the victims that it chooses. This means that no matter what your religion, your socioeconomic background, your race, your gender identity or sexual identity, you can be a victim of domestic violence. And it's important also to keep in mind that there are some warning signs of dating and domestic violence that you can look for your friends and family. And so that relationships aren't this taboo thing that we can't talk about. So I'm going to read some of the warning signs of domestic violence and dating violence. And it's not going to be about punching or hitting or physical abuse necessarily, but these are important things that we should look for in the relationships of the people in our lives. For example, telling the victim that they can never do anything right, showing jealousy of the victim's family and friends and any time that they spend away, being very proprietary about people's time, accusing the victim of cheating relentlessly. We see a lot of abuse of social media, cell phone, texting, relentless texting, keeping or discouraging the victim from seeing friends or family, embarrassing or shaming the victim, consistent put-downs, controlling every penny spent in the household. Remember, dating and domestic violence is essentially about power and control. Looking at or acting in ways that scare the person that they are abusing. And this is huge for our younger people, dictating how the victim dresses, wears their hair, etc. Stalking the victim, monitoring their every move, internet, GPS tracking, cell phone usage, etc. Preventing the victim from making their own decisions. And that one is so important to remember. Telling the victim that they are a bad parent or threatening to hurt, kill, or take away their children. Threatening, intimidating the victim with guns, knives, and weapons. Threatening their pets. Pressuring the victim to have sex, forcing them to have sex with others, refusing to use protection when having sex, pressuring the victim to use drugs or alcohol, preventing the victim from working or attending school, destroying the victim's property. And as you can see, all of these listed warning signs and abusive tactics are not necessarily about physical abuse. As I mentioned earlier, they encompass the range of verbal abuse, insidious emotional and psychological abuse, and really damaging financial abuse. The kinds of things that keep victims under the power and control, under the thumb of their abuser. And before we finish, I just want to read a few of the signs of financial abuse because it is so powerful and insidious, and it's important that we as a community recognize these signs. And they include not just controlling one's bank account, but preventing someone from having a job, deciding how they can use their cash, their bank card, their ATM, applying for credit cards and abusing the victim's credit. It's extremely powerful, and these are the kinds of abusive tactics that really prevent victims from being able to break free and live independent, productive lives. So thank you so much for being a loving, caring friend, family member, and community member, because together we really can address the issue in this epidemic of dating and domestic violence.